I have a list of riddles, and I'm going to concentrate on the best one. We got maybe 5 of them that we'll do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you about them, talk through your thought process, and see where they go. All right, let me start with a murderer is condemned to death. He has to choose between 3 rooms. The first is full of raging fires. The second is full of assassins with loaded guns. And the third room is filled with lions that haven't eaten in 3 years. Which room is the safest if you wanted to survive?
Well, for starters, the fire might be somewhat the safest, depending on how fast you can move and the agility of your body and how much pain it can withstand. That's probably your safest bet. The assassins, that's just it, you're done. Getting an assassin to shoot at another assassin is like getting an old dog to do a new trick.
Okay.
Yeah, you could be like, oh hey, this guy said this about you, and so on and so forth, and keep going with that until hopefully they're all dumb enough to fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean, assassins are highly trained, not easily gullible, I would assume. I'm not sure. Lions that haven't eaten for 3 years, you're done. You're done. Because you ain't gonna outrun them. They can climb things, so even if you could climb one of the walls, you're done.
Okay. Now, this is one of those riddles where they say that there is a correct answer to. Yours is the fires.
Yeah.
The answer that they say is the lions is the safest. Because if the lions haven't eaten in 3 years, they're dead. They die of starvation.
Not necessarily true.
How could a lion survive 3 years without food?
A lion can survive with what it already has stored. It's somewhat like a chipmunk. It's like a human body and a bear. A bear eats so much, once they go into hibernation, their body feeds off of what it has already stored.
So the
lions can do the same thing.
Lions can go into hibernation, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So according to Google, lions do not hibernate.
I don't care what Google says.
And
even the human body can go without food for a while as long as you have water.
So what do you have to say to the people that say that they do have to eat?
Do your research. Like, yeah, you can look it up on Google. I understand Google is going to have something, but you should probably do a little more in-depth research. Maybe go to, I don't know, something called a library.
And what book would you recommend them reading? What's the lion-related book?
Anything that has to do with lions, I would assume.
Yeah, what if they didn't feed them for 3 years? They'd still be alive, that was what you're saying.
Like, who did the study on lions die after 3 years of not eating? Who did the study on that?
Well, apparently all these zoos that can't afford to feed them the big concentrations of meat, and they die of starvation in the zoo.
Oh, cool. So every single zoo has to get a new lion every other 3rd year? Bullshit.
No, they have to feed them every day.
They probably feed them 3 times a day, and that's it.
Yeah, not 3 times a year.
Grant, so what? You're feeding it 3 times a day, just like a human eats. So they
get 50 kilograms of food a day.
Think about that for a second, Grant.
Okay.
What do you think a 50 kilogram steak looks like? You cannot...
Oh, here we go.
You can't
a lamb is typically 50 kilograms worth of meat, a whole lamb.
Oh, so you think they're going to feed a whole lamb to a herd of lions? That would feed one.
So you're
And guess who's
saying,
gonna go for it first?
so you're saying you need to feed them even more.
Yeah, if the whole statement of them dying after 3 years is true, then yeah, you would.
So what's your argument here? That they need to be fed even more than we think, or they need to be fed less than we think? Because now you're making it sound like they need to be fed even more, or else they'll be in trouble. And before you're like they don't even need to eat for 3 years. You're kind of arguing both sides of the argument.
I get that, but you can't make sense of it one way or another, because you can't go by what one person says to another person to, oh, we had a lion in our zoo, and it come on.
Let's move on to the next riddle. You're driving down the road, enjoying a Sunday drive with nowhere to really be. As you are driving, you notice 3 people on the side of the road. First is a beautiful woman, your perfect match, the love of your life. You know that if you speak to her, you'll instantly hit it off. She would be into you, and you would be into her, and you'd live happily after. She could use a ride from you, but if you're not able to give her a ride, she will just walk where she needs to be, out of your life forever. The other person, you also see your best friend that you owe your life to. In the past, your friend did you an incredible huge favor at great expense to himself that ended up saving your life, in fact. That's how big this favor was for you. What you owe him seems impossible to pay back. He sees you and says, hey, I need a ride. It's very important that I make it to my destination. Can't get into details about why, but drop me off where I need to be and consider us even. You owe me, and this is my moment in need, is what he says you. And finally, you see an old man. He seems to be having heart problems and needs immediate medical attention. He needs to be driven to the hospital right away, or he could die. You're not able to cram more people into the car aside the driver and 1 passenger. You cannot fit anyone in the trunk, on the roof, or have anyone sit on top of anyone. Who do you pick to be in the car, and why?
Saving the old man.
So you're getting the old man, and you're saving him. Now, what about that best friend that you owe your life to that did a huge favor? Sorry, just I guess I owe you 2 favors. Goodbye.
No, I wouldn't owe him anything if he can't give me the details on why he needs to be wherever so importantly. There's something wrong there.
Now, what about the love of your life? You're just going to let this woman walk out of your life?
Ace.
That's kind of a sacrifice you're taking for yourself.
Hero's honor, man.
Hero's honor.
I've lived that my whole life.
And now, why is saving this old man the most important out of all of these things to you?
Well, it's gonna sound cheesy as hell, but couldn't save Uncle George. Wish I could have. And couldn't save Grandma. So, save somebody and not looking for anything in return. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
oh well.
Right.
Hero's honor. It's what I've always lived by.
There you heard it. Now, this is an interesting riddle because a lot of people will answer it, and they'll pick their reason and they'll say what they're going to say. A lot of people, pick an item and it's not what they pick that gets them in trouble. It's how they defend it. However, eventually there does seem to be one answer that is considered the correct answer that defeats the question. That is the correct answer if you think about it, and you have to use outside the box thinking. As you're driving down the road, your best friend needs a ride. You say, all right, you can get a ride. Here's the keys to the car. You throw him the keys. You tell him you can get what you want, where you want to go. In fact, keep the car, but drive this old man to the hospital first. And that leaves you on the side of the road with the love of your life that you can talk and walk her to wherever she needs to be.
Yeah. No. Nope. Hero's honor. Because there's no way you're going to trust your friend to get that person there first.
You're not going to trust him.
Why would you?
Because he's your best friend?
So, this undisclosed place that he couldn't tell you anything about, that he has important reason to be there, but there's a dying man, a girl who, let's say, you've probably never seen in your life. You really gonna trust your friend to take the old man to the hospital? Or is he just gonna go right to where he needs to go?
Mm-hmm. So this next one is an interesting one because this is a question that most Harvard grads get wrong, yet most
Okay.
kindergartners get right. I turn polar bears white and I will make you cry. I make guys have to pee and girls comb their hair. I make celebrities look stupid and normal people look like celebrities. I turn pancakes brown and make your champagne bubble. If you squeeze me, I'll pop. If you look at me, you'll pop. Can you guess the riddle?
Sun.
What?
It's the sun.
The sun?
Yeah.
No, that's not the answer we're looking for. It's very creative.
I mean, you take celebrities, you turn them normal. They're already tan as hell.
Yeah,
They get
if you
more
squeeze
tan,
me, I'll pop.
Volcano. Fire.
So if the very last part of the riddle, the actual question part is, can you guess the riddle? When you ask a kindergartner, they say no, and that's correct. But someone that's Harvard educated and someone like you, who thinks they're smarter than everyone, has to give a guess. They have to come up with something. They can't just say no. They have to be like, no, and so that's why they get it wrong. Not because it's an impossible riddle basically, and you just had the answer to it is just to say, can you get this? No.
Okay, but before you were to have seen the answer, would you have given a guess? Don't tell me you wouldn't have, because I know you would have.
Yeah, I would have fallen for it too.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. But a kindergartner, a kid, has no problem saying, I don't know.
Because every kid says, I don't know.
Yeah. But that's
why
that's the lesson of this riddle, is sometimes you just got to check yourself and be like, oh yeah, no, I don't know.
I'm not checking anything.
Okay. All right. 2 final riddles. David's parents have 3 sons. Snap, Crackle, and 1 other son. What's the name of the 3rd son?
David.
Got it. You got it. You got it.
I mean, that's not hard.
Okay. A lot of people get tricked.
Pop.
Yes, a lot of people say Pop, but you didn't get fooled.
No, because you said David.
Right, that's right. Very smart. One last riddle. There's a 1-story house which has everything yellow. Yellow walls, yellow doors, yellow furniture. What color are the stairs to the 2nd floor?
Assume yellow. If everything is yellow.
All right, I'm gonna read this one more time and see if you change your mind.
Okay.
There's a 1-story house, which everything is yellow. Yellow walls, yellow door, yellow furniture. What color are the stairs to the 2nd floor?
There aren't any.
Yeah.
You know, it clicked in my head the first time you said it. I just wasn't paying attention.
All right, but you got the other trick. The other trick, you saw that one coming.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say to the people out there?
Not really.
All right.